ICC Labs Inc. ICC on the Toronto Stock Venture. Man, I jacked up my list here of all those cannabis stocks in the sector. A lot of inspiration came from the HMMJ ticker, the Marijuana Index ETF. And use that as inspiration, guys, to get tickers. That's great. You go StockTwits, next big trade, often get some good insight, and then gets my attention. But always remember, guys, no matter where you get the inspiration, once you have the ticker under your radar and you pop it, open the chart, it's your framework you're applying, guys. Always make sure it's your framework. Tips are good, but you got to make sure it passes your criterias for entry, your criterias for exits. We don't have that. I use my own trading framework. I'm not giving out my information live, so you don't know when I'm selling, when I'm buying. Sometimes we have a whole bunch of stuff to do, but what I use is just to share the information, how I see a chart using my framework. I try to outline all my framework on badcharts.com in the how-to section and how I do it. But usually frameworks are rarely universal. You take a framework from somebody, then you mold it, you change, fine-tune it to your needs, to your preferences, your time frames, etc. So, maybe it's a preface we should always do, but always take whatever ticker somebody says and make sure it passes your framework. You're using risk and money management. Make sure you're owning whatever decision you're doing when you're buying and selling. And brings me to ICC. So I'm going through all this list, and this is the one that grabbed my attention. Let's go on the monthly right away before we do Stan Weinstein on the weekly. Whoa, look at that. Explode. All right. 12-month moving average, what are we looking for? We want a 12-month moving average going upwards on the monthly chart. We want to identify breakout lines, support lines, see what we're dealing with. Because ideally, we just want to confirm the trend. So right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-month sideways move, closing in on the 12-month moving average. Explode, breakout, target reached. And now that morphs into a bigger pattern. And it looks like it's here, guys. Be careful. See these wicks? Price action got sucked back in within that monthly defined. What is now starting to shape out like strong monthly defined resistance. We're in September. There's 3 weeks left. If this closes above, drum roll. We got an implied measure move. Whoa. Zoom that. Got an implied measure move that brings me all the way up here to 214. So we need a monthly close above 172. 170 open, 172, and then we have a measured move all the way to 214, guys. So uptrend is definitely there. We're above the 12-month moving average. You don't want to short sell when you're above it, and you don't want to be in the stock when you're under. You see how it squeezed it? So it's looking good, guys. So we're set on the higher trend, top to bottom approach. Let's go in on the weekly and see what we're dealing with. Outperforming the SPX. Awesome. Are we outperforming our peers? HMMJ. This Mansfield relative strength indicator on the trading view is so awesome, guys. So I just did that. Always thank the author, ZZ, I think. Let me just get that. Indicators, favorites. Bat ZECH, guys. There should be a lot more likes to that, guys, because you always want to compare yourself to your peers. It's one of Stan's tenets. And right now we were outperforming our peers, and now we're right above the zero line. Are we going to bounce up? Like it's setting up for that, guys. But who knows? Here's a weekly defined breakout, embryonic breakout. Stage 2, sideways move. Stage 3, oh, you could almost reverse engineer most of the time. Let me get narrow. Look at the volume here. Reverse engineer, guys. Twice the average volume of the previous 4 weeks. Usually it coincides with a horizontal breakout line. Up, sideways move. Hug the 30-week moving average. Stage 2 continuation right here. So we kind of missed it. Right here. Hitting some resistance here. Getting faded back in. Now going through again. It's all cycle, guys. Never straight line. Why does it pull back? It hits some resistance. Why does it... if it reverses completely, it's because there's no support. If it hits support, then it goes back up, has that resistance again. It goes through, goes to the next level, etc. At every turn, it could come back. But when you play the trend following system, those pullbacks have a less and less chance of being reversals. They have more chance of bouncing off and going up. And here we go. The only thing here, not super duper, you're underperforming your peers. You might not have want to entered right here. Green, twice the average volume of the previous 4 weeks. On this candle right here, guys. This week's candle. So if this week closes above, that's my second breakout. Embryonic breakout. You could have entered here. If you miss it, you seem to have another one here above this bigger pattern. The risk, it would have been better here in the sense that you would have entered here and you would have had the protection of the 30-week moving average, of the shallow pattern. You could have put yourself stop under here. Smaller risk, bigger position size for the write up. You see how far now we are from the 30-week moving average? What that tells you is your protection. Let's say you enter here. You could put yourself stop down here. And maybe up here below this candle here. And if you put it up here, that's super risky because that resistance line, that support line now, a wall, previous resistance now turned support. I don't know how strong it is. What could easily happen is the pullback could come all the way down back to this breakout line, which I trust most because it was tested multiple times. These breakout lines that were tested single or not a lot of times, I trust less than this bigger patterns here. And that could be the pull out, the 30-week average going up here. Though this is very possible within 1 to 3 months. Usually there's pullbacks. And maybe go up here and then up and away. So the risk to reward entry here, not optimal at this stage right there. You might want to wait for the end of the week, see what's going to happen, see if there's a pullback on low volume. If the pullback is on contracting volume, it confirms even more that this stage 2 is a healthy pullback and not a reversal, and then it could go up. So that's going to probably be, you could probably fine tune that entry by waiting for a pullback and see if it's going to pull back all the way back here to this previous breakout line. If it doesn't, maybe you can have a sideways move closing into the 30-week moving average and have another stage 2 continuation breakout around these levels here. So that's the safest way to play it. Always try to find a reason not to enter. And right now, for what I'm noticing now, for those 2 reasons, that's a little far off the 30-week moving average. I would be tempted to wait, but keep this guy on the radar. It's exploding. It's going to soon outperform its peers. It's already outperforming the SPX. And it's looking pretty good, guys. ICC Labs. It's in the list. Keep an eye on it. See ya. Ciao, guys.